I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. Boy, what a thing to wake up to. Late last night, October 23rd, U.S. President Donald Trump announced via Truth Social that he is terminating all ongoing trade negotiations with Canada, citing a 75 million CAD anti-tariff advertisement funded by the government of Ontario. The ad, which aired during a Toronto Blue Jays game, featured selective audio and video clips from a 1987 Ronald Reagan radio address criticizing protectionist tariffs as harmful to jobs and markets. Trump labeled the ad fake and accused Canada of fraudulently attempting to influence a pending U.S. Supreme Court case on the legality of his tariffs. The Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute echoed concerns about the ad's selective editing, but confirmed the quotes were authentic and is now exploring legal actions against the ad's creators.
When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. But over the long run, such trade barriers hurt every American worker and consumer. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. Throughout the world, there's a growing realization that the way to prosperity for all nations is rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. America's jobs and growth are at stake.
This decision escalates an already tense trade relationship, building on Trump's earlier imposition of a 25 to 35% tariff on Canadian steel, aluminum, and autos, which has been in place since early of this year, 2025. Now, Ontario Premier Doug Ford defended the ad as a necessary response to highlight tariffs' harm to industries like steel, but acknowledged it did upset Trump and urged Prime Minister Mark Carney to adopt a tougher negotiation stance. Carney's office has not yet issued a formal comment, but he had previously visited the White House twice this year without breakthroughs and recently reduced tariff-free import quotas for U.S. On the made vehicles from GM and Stellantis due to manufacturing shifts away from Canada. On X, formerly Twitter, Canadian users expressed frustration with Ford's approach, with some calling for real adults to handle U.S. talks. The White House has not elaborated beyond Trump's post. Economics and business groups, including those in the auto sector, voiced concerns over added uncertainties, noting the integrated North American supply chains. Given the recency of this announcement, less than 24 hours as of today, October 24th, immediate fallout is still unfolding based on expert analysis and historical patterns from Trump's trade disputes. I don't know why, but a lot of people don't know that the tariffs, when the goods come into the United States, we, the Americans, are the ones that are paying those tariffs. It's not the countries that send it to us that's paying it. No, you are paying it by higher prices at the checkouts. So what's going to happen next? Well, we probably could expect a formal statement from Prime Minister Carney within hours or maybe days, possibly announcing retaliatory measures like reinstating tariffs on U.S. goods such as agricultural products or whiskey, as they did in 2018. Carney has signaled Canada won't tolerate unfair market access without a deal, and emergency talks potentially involving Mexico under the USMCA framework could be convened to de-escalate this situation. We probably should keep an eye on the stock market. They may see dips in trade sensitive to sectors like autos and manufacturing. U.S. futures already showed minor declines overnight, with Canadian exporters like Magna International and steel firms vulnerable, and cross-border trades worth about $2.5 billion a day could face delays if rhetoric hardens. The Reagan Foundation potential lawsuit could drag Ontario into U.S. courts, amplifying the dispute. Trump might use this to rally his base, framing it as a foreign interference, while Canadian polls now show rising anti-U.S. sentiment, boosting Carney's diversification push, aiming to double non-U.S. exports by 2035. So what's probably going to happen? This is like I'm saying, you know, these other countries don't pay the tariffs you do. We're going to end up having higher costs for U.S. consumers. Prices for cars and appliances due to supply chain disruptions. And there's going to be Canadian job losses in export. With 77% of Canada's exports to the U.S. bound, prolonged stalemate could shrink the GDP by 0.5, maybe 1% annually on both sides. So now get this, if you watched that ad that was put out by Canada, U.S. tariffs are already at the 1930 highs, fueling inflation concerns. In that ad, they talk about, the Great Depression and how the tariffs escalated, the inflation and, what happened next? Well, we had the Great Depression. Believe me when I tell you we are heading to a very bad and deep crash. That's just my opinion. Trump believes that this will bolster his America First image, but it does isolate the U.S. international. Well, the agreement with the beef being imported from Argentina, I do not think that is putting Americans first. Overall, while Trump has walked back similar threats before, like in 2018, the steel tariffs, this does feel personal due to the Reagan angle. He doesn't like to be targeted and, criticized. So what are your thoughts? Put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you later. God bless y'all. Bye.